Welcome back to another episode of the Will Hill Show. Today, I have another one of my comedic friends, Phil. Phil, tell the people who you are.
My name is Phil Landrio.
Y'all see the board? We got this board just for
that.
y'all. We are improving. Don't ask how much it costs. I'm not telling y'all it wasn't a lot. But now you can see who we have here. And I had to change his name. But it's okay. I'm sorry, Phil.
That's all good. No worries. So I'm Phil Landrio. I'm a comic. I actually host the Monday Nights at Riddles open mic.
That's where I met him. That's when I first started doing comedy. I live close to Riddles, and I was like, fuck it, I just go up there.
Yeah.
It was a good time ever since. How long you been doing comedy, Phil?
What's the date today?
Today is
the 15th. I've been doing comedy for 2 years and 4 days.
And 4 days. No, I didn't keep track of like my first day.
Oh yeah, it was March 11th, 2019.
How do you remember? Was it like
it
that
was
prolific of a day?
Oh yeah. So I started writing comedy like January, like December, January of like at the end of 2018, beginning of 2019, and then I started like hitting up all the mics just to kind of scout them out, see which ones I wanted to do, see which, like what time do you got to get there, who do you got to talk to, like, and I sat through these mics, and I got to a point where, because my birthday's in March, and I'm like, I gotta do it like in and around my birthday, just because it's like one of those.
What was the significance of that?
Just I turned 40.
Yeah. So that was like a turning point here.
I got to do this by it's like a bucket list.
Yeah.
So yeah, March 11th, and we made a big thing of it. Like I didn't have a bunch of friends show up, but I met a bunch of people. Hitting up Riddles, because Riddles is my home club. So some of the comics that I've met through Riddles in that time that I was kind of scouting it out. Like they're like, oh yeah, tonight's your night, dude. Like they kept trying to get me up, Kyle and the guys. They're like, oh, they kept trying to get me up for like weeks. I'm like, no, I got to do it. I'll be ready like March, mid-March, March, and then it was March 11th, and one of the guys came out. One of my good friends came out, and he paid for my drinks that night. Yeah. And we made it a big thing. It was fun.
That's what's up.
Yeah.
No, I just kind of went like, like I had figured out, I wanted to do comedy. I wasn't really like writing, but like I felt like I already knew how to structure like a joke, right? So I just went. Like my first time going to one, I went up. I went in, I signed up. You were there. My first time, I just did it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And like from there, I learned, there is an actual art.
Oh yeah,
a craft to comedy, and I'm like, oh shit. Like,
see, I felt good being on stage. I've always felt good being on stage. Like I was a sales trainer.
Oh, okay.
In my professional, my other profession, I guess. I was a trainer for like 5 years.
Right. So you trained the people to do a sales job.
To sell the products that my company was manufacturing. And I would go around the country, and I would do rooms of 20, 30 people, at a conference, like a convention, convention room or convention center. So being up in front of people, I had zero problems with. Yeah. Like I had zero stage fright. But I knew my shit. Yeah. Like I knew exactly, like I could walk into any room back when I was a sales trainer. I could walk into any room and train anybody sitting there.
Right.
Like it didn't matter. I knew what I was going to do. I knew how I was going to do it. So I felt like with comedy, I had to like put that together and be confident with my material and not just be like, kind of thing when I went up there.
You still get nervous?
No.
I was just telling Curtis, I still get nervous.
Oh yeah.
Like first off, when I get nervous, my hands get cold. Not clammy, they get cold, ice cold, and I get the bubble guts. I got to shit immediately. Every time I get like real nervous, I go, oh my god, I should have went to the bathroom. Like, but like, I was just telling Curtis before we started. Even when you come tap me and go, will you next?
Yeah,
my heart. I'm like, oh, fuck.
Now I get anxious and like excited. Like I remember my first time on March 11th. 2019 at 8 p.m. No, I remember I couldn't eat a thing all day. Like I drank coffee and smoked cigarettes and that's all I did all day. And I was in my garage and I was just like pacing back and forth, going over my set, making sure I had my stuff together. And now even if I have going to Riddles is like nothing.
Yeah,
like,
it becomes routine.
Yeah, because I'm there every week, and I always do that. Like 10 minutes before we start the open mic, I'm literally like, okay, what am I going to say tonight?
Yeah,
and usually it comes off that way.
Yeah.
But I had, on the book shows, I get anxious and I get excited, but I wouldn't call it nervous because I'm not. I'm just excited about like getting up there and doing it and getting that first laugh.
Yeah.
Like that's the biggest thing.
I'm nervous. I know it's nerves. Like I said, you come tap me. Mm-hmm. All right, Will, you next. Heart going crazy, right?
Yeah.
So then I finally started to calm down because the person in front of me, they going through their set, and then I could tell they getting close to the end of their set. I see the light, and there go my heart again.
Yeah.
Right? And then they come walking off the stage. You come walking up. You do a little 1-2, and then I know I'm next. And as you take your breath to go introducing next, I forget everything. I forget completely everything. Somebody could walk up to me and be like, "What's your name?" And I'll be like, but then like the moment I grab the mic, it's all gone, and I am back on point to what I want to say, how I want to say it, and it just becomes like a flow. Then I'm like, damn, they got a light. It's over with. It's like waiting on a roller coaster. The click, 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 click. We were just waiting. And then by the time you drop, you realize you're not gonna die. You enjoy the ride, and it's over. Like
so, and you've done legit paid gigs in front of like legit audiences.
Yeah.
So, I remember my first time doing a legit gig in front of a legit audience, and I had the opposite problem. Where I was so in my head, I get called up. It was Alan Ford was the host that night. He brings me up. He got the crowd nice and warm, and I was like the I was like the third comic.
Okay.
So the crowd was nice and warmed up.
You an opening?
No. And I went up. I was supposed to do 10 minutes. I ended up doing like 13 and a half, almost 14 minutes.
Okay.
It was a show I produced, so I figured,
why not?
Why not? It's my show. Who's gonna fire me? Me? So I get off stage, and this is the first. Like I'm not the kind of person that brings people to the open mic.
Okay.
I don't bring my friends to the open mic. So this is the first time like my friends, my family, my wife have ever seen me do comedy live.
Yeah, right. Like seriously.
Like they've seen my recordings, but not live. And I get off stage, and like I said, this is the most time I've ever done. This is my first show. I get off stage. I go to the back. I go back to the bar at Riddles just to breathe. And my wife like tackles me, and she's like, "Oh my God, you did so good. How do you feel?" I'm like, "What did I just say for 13 and a half minutes?" Like I legit, like I remember getting on stage. I remember grabbing the mic because that's the first thing. I don't know if you've ever seen. It's not called The Comedian. I think it's just called Comedian, the Jerry Seinfeld documentary.
I think parts and pieces.
Yeah. So like the first thing, or at the end of the documentary, he goes like, just get the mic, just pull the mic out of the stand. Like that's all he worries about for 10 seconds before he gets on stage. Just make sure he could take the mic out of the stand.
All right.
So that's all I focused on. So I took the mic out of the stand. I'm like, okay, step one, I have a microphone. And then it was just like, thank you, good night.
All right.
And I'm like, what did I just say? I had to watch the tape.
Now, I want to say to all my friends and family who complain, I do not invite them to none of my shows. I've only done a few paid shows, and it was all like private events. Mm-hmm. So I just can't invite you to someone else's thing. And I just thought it was the norm. You really don't invite people to the open mic. Open mic, I tell everybody this. Open mic is practice. Mm-hmm. Like I'm not going to invite you to practice.
Right.
Like when I have my very first showcase, like a bringer show or something, I will most definitely invite all of you guys. Yeah. But you heard it here from Phil. We don't invite. You really don't invite. People do. It's fine.
As the host of Riddles, definitely bring your friends and family to Riddles on
Monday Monday nights. If you really want to come see me, that's the place I'm for sure going to be. But it's practice for comics. So
now I've been doing this 2 years. It's like, if a friend of mine's like, oh, hey, I got a friend who lives right up the street. He's like, oh, yeah, I'm going to hit you up on Monday nights. I'm like, great, come on over. Like, right. I don't care. Like, it's not, it's a free show, so you get what you pay for.
Right.
And, so I just felt like I needed to, I'm kind of a perfectionist, so I needed to make sure I had my stuff together before I got friends and family involved.
Yeah, because I was doing security. I wasn't like even in a position where I was talking in front of people. Mm-hmm. But I don't know, because like in high school stuff, I was real shy. I didn't half of my class don't even know I went to the school.
Oh, yeah.
Like, they see it on Facebook, like, hey, we went to the same high school as this dude. Like, yeah. But I didn't really grow into my own until, like, after, like, high school.
Okay.
And then, like,
I was kind of the same way.
Found out who I was, and I got comfortable. And now, like, every time I go to, like, a small party, whatever, I need everybody to be like, that guy Will's cool as hell.
Oh, yeah.
That's just the way I lead parties. Me and my best friend, we've done so much stuff together.
Oh, yeah.
And people go, Will and Chris. Like, our names is unanimous. Like, it sounds like one word half the time.
Oh, yeah.
And it's just us together at all times. But just talking about my friends, it reminded me of, I got a friend named Danny.
Okay.
And back in our days when we was trying to pick up women and stuff, we'd go to parties. And we had a bit. He was a rapper, and I was his security guard.
That's good.
He was a rapper from California. He's actually from California, and
Yeah.
I'm just his security guard.
There you go.
And I remember one time we went to the bar, ended up going to like a after party at someone's house.
Okay.
And this lady was like, I don't think you're his security. I'm like, oh, how you figure that? Mind you, we're already blasted. And she goes, I bet I could beat you in a race. I'm like, I bet you can't. And so like we go in the middle of the street.
Hang on, time out for a second. How many security guards have to race somebody? Like
for that job, right?
Listen, here, you race to me and then it will beat your ass. Like, that's my job.
So no, we in the middle of the street. We get on your market set, go. We was just racing to the end of the block. It wasn't that far. And on go, about 5 steps in, I already blew this lady out the park. I'm gone. But I'm so drunk, I ran full speed all the way to the stop sign, touched the line like it's football practice, and came back full speed. And like I'm sweating.
You're doing ladders.
All straight vodka. It's not even like it's all vodka. And I go, where's she at? She didn't even go that far. She stopped and turned around.
No, she basically did exactly what she wanted to do. She got you out of the place so she could go hit on the rapper. You know, it's like that's why you're not a security guard.
Oh my God, that was one of my most fun nights that I remember.
Yeah, we always used to get into shit. We used to. I had one girl at a. I went to Southern Illinois. For college, and we went down for homecoming, like years after I was done. And I'm talking to this girl, and I was telling her that I was a model. She's like, "Oh, what do you do for a living?" I'm like, "I'm a model," and she's like, looking at me. I'm like. Now the joke is I'm the before model, but no, the actual like what I said was I was a hand model.
Right.
You know, I started off as a foot model and then it's just moved
got
up.
A promotion.
But yeah, we always used to do. I used to go to this bar in the city where I'd always wear a suit because I'd come after work and I always be wearing a suit, and I would literally walk around this. I've come to this bar so much that I literally walked around like I owned the place. Like I'd walk to tables of there'd be like five or six girls sitting at this big table. I'd be like, "Ladies, how you doing tonight? Like, are we enjoying ourselves? Are the wait staff, is the wait staff taking care of you well? How's the drinks? You know, did you enjoy that food you ordered?" And I just like and then they'd be like, "Oh, you work here?" I'm like, "No."
I don't know, but like little small parties like that, that's how I built my confidence. I was like, fuck it, I can do it. And like, everybody say you funny, but like it's to me that's the stigma, right? Oh, yeah. Everyone's funny. Everyone thinks they're funny. Like I personally hate saying anyone's a bad comic. I feel like in front of the right crowd, anybody could be a comic. Mostly anyone. But like, at Riddle, we've seen some bad comics.
Well,
when Kyle was there, we talked about that dude Alexander the Great.
Oh God, no, his actual name was Alexander the Decent.
Oh, the Decent.
But I call him Alexander the Mediocre because he doesn't know how to spell mediocre. Well, okay, so that's the thing. I think people can be funny in the right situations.
Right.
Like, I could pull a one-liner out of a movie any time of the day or night.
Right.
Like I'm sure a lot of people can do. They remember movies that are funny, but like, does that make you funny or does that make you like really good at remembering other funny things?
Right.
I think, yes, there is a definite art to being able to go up on stage. I think going up on stage is a big deal. Mm-hmm. And then going up on stage and really, you're just on an island. Like for for the longest time, everybody's like, "Oh, Phil, you're funny. You're funny." I'm like, "Yeah, but looks aren't everything." But no, they'd be like, "You're funny. You should be a stand-up." And I said, "Well, I'm funny right now because you said this, and then I said this, and then you said this, and then I said that,
right?
And it works out in a conversation." Or I'm standing outside, outside of a bar because I smoke cigarettes on occasion, and we're just like, I walk out and people are just talking, and I start kind of like doing
person, right.
Yeah. So, but when you go up there, you're doing a monologue. You're all by yourself.
Hey, yeah, there's no real. I mean, some people do crowd work.
Yeah, but you can't live on crowd work.
No, that's not a living.
No, you can't. Well, not even like I was at a book show downtown, at the end of 2019,
mm-hmm.
and this girl who was like, she was from Mumbai, India.
Okay.
And she was like a traveling comic all throughout like Asia. And she came into the place I was at, and she started doing like a whole bunch of crowd work about like, oh, what are some of the stereotypes about Indian people? Mm-hmm. Like, and no one would say anything because we're on the north side. Like, no one's saying anything. Like, oh, they're really good at math, or they're doctors. Like it's all like positive stuff.
Right.
But you know what she was trying to get at? She was trying to get at the call center shit. Right. So and no one would say it. And I knew where she was going, but I'm like, she's in the wrong crowd for this.
Yeah, no.
So everybody's like,
Southside.
Everybody's like, oh, the food's real spicy, or oh no, they, like somebody said like, oh, the disparity in rich versus poor.
One second. That's my mom, and I want to answer this on a podcast. Hello. Yeah, I'm doing a podcast right now, Mom. No, you good. You be on an episode. You can look for it. About 15 minutes in. I'll call you back. Bye. All right.
Anyways, so I was doing this podcast, and some guy just answers his phone. No.
What did he say? No.
So she's going through. She's like, oh, what else? What else? Like, what else? What else?
Is reaching,
dude. And she had no material because she's waiting for somebody to say call center, and then she gets in her material. She never just got into her material.
Right.
She ended up running late by 4 minutes.
So did she bring it up like herself?
No.
Oh,
never once. She kept going. The host is giving her the light, and she's like, I see the fucking light.
Oh.
And because no one will say call center. And I'm like,
why you didn't do it?
But that's why you don't do crowd work that often. You gotta have your own stuff.
You know what? I've never thought about actually doing crowd work. The only time I do like any type of little bit of crowd work is when I first grab the mic. Mm-hmm. If there's a good callback I can hit on. Mm-hmm. If it's something like last week, we had the college students sitting there.
Oh yeah.
And everybody was picking, said they little one thing, and I just real quick, boom, right into my material. I've never really thought seriously about doing crowd work. And we all know who the best at crowd work is, Andrew Schultz, right? He's arguably the best.
Yeah.
But again, he has material.
Right.
But a lot of people only see the crowd work on YouTube and stuff like that. I'm like, no, he has like legit material.
Right.
Like, he's not living off crowd work.
Well, I think if you I think we've talked about this offline about being a host.
Yeah.
The more you host, the more crowd work you need to do, and the better you are at it.
Right. So I'm gonna learn to host, and Phil Hill's gonna teach me. So
Phil Hill.
Phil here.
Phil here. No, wait. It's the Phil Hill Will Show.
Hold your horses. Still a Will Hill show. All right, Phil. Let's get into some good stuff here.
All right.
So,
because that was garbage.
No, it was the best garbage I ever heard so far. So, recent news: the world is more softer than it's ever been.
Right.
Now they want to cancel Pepe Le Pew.
Let's start this off by saying I am 42 years old. I was born in 1979. I am a Gen Xer.
Okay.
I'm like maybe towards the end of Gen X, but there's like 3 or 4 or 5 years after me that's still Gen X. So I'm kind of like in it. I remember when computers kind of started hitting your house. I remember when I was a sophomore in high school, we finally got the internet. I remember
dial up.
I remember playing outside. I remember having an Atari. So let's start there. All right. So you're going to get some opinion.
I'm all for it. I think it's ridiculous. Who are these people going back on things and quite honestly really taking it out of context to say, oh, this is wrong, right? And it's like, okay, you're saying this is wrong. This was wrong at this era. Where's all these Pepe Le Pews in the real world?
But what happened to being sarcastic, and what happened to making fun of something? Because that's what it is. Like Pepe Le Pew, for instance, he was or is an exaggeration of that character,
right?
And he is just, it's like, okay, French guys are all like super suave and very
French is considered a love language, right?
Oh yeah,
right. So, like, what do you mean? That's the whole personification of it, right? It was to be done very over the top. They nailed it. Like,
well, yeah, it's an exaggeration of it,
right?
Yeah. And it's funny because the woman he's going after is a cat.
Not even a skunk. Not even a skunk.
I mean, don't get me wrong. Like, do I think that in today's day and age we should have something new like that? Probably not. Probably a little more guarded now. But why are we messing with stuff that happened, over 20, 30, 40, right. 50 years ago?
It's over and done with. Like, that's I guess that's my problem. Like, you guys are reaching so far because the world has guarded you from anything else happening. Mm-hmm. You have nothing else to complain about, so you have to go in search of it, right? So you probably sitting down on the couch one day with your parents and seeing Pepe Le Pew and go, "What? That's offensive. The world needs to know about this." Like, what? The world already knows.
Yeah, the world knew. The world knew about it, laughed at it 30 years ago, and moved on.
Like, so they removed Dumbo.
Why did they move Dumbo?
For some anti-Semitic stuff. I think the Crows. They removed Dumbo. So they removed them from Disney Plus. Removed it from Disney Plus. Okay. Netflix removed some of these from their kids' profile channels.
Oh, okay.
So it was like Dumbo, the Aristocats. What was Peter Pan?
For real?
Yeah. So it's no longer on the kids' channel.
Okay.
If you can look it up.
Now I do remember. I don't know if you remember this. Was it a couple years ago? I want to say maybe 2018. Sesame Street put out their first few seasons on DVD. Okay, and the first season, the very first episode, the very first few minutes of the very first episode of Sesame Street, that they ended up putting "This is not content for children" on the box. Okay, because the very first scene is this little girl walking down Sesame Street. She can't find her parents. So Gordon, I think it was the guy's name. Gordon's like, "Oh, let's go into the diner. I'll get you a milkshake and we'll call your folks."
Okay.
That is no longer okay.
Wait, what is he supposed to do?
I apparently just leave the kid there and be like, "Get away, unaccompanied minor."
What is wrong with you?
Well, no, I mean, this was the 70s, dude. This was 74.
What?
Yeah.
Dang, see, now I got to rethink myself. Because I feel like that's something I would do. If I was walking the street and this little kid lost, I'd be hey, come inside somewhere.
No, they're wanting. It's getting to be like there's a little kid lost. Like, fuck him. I forgot to ask. Can I swear? Is that all right?
Yeah, no, good fuck. All right, YouTube. There's a show called Blackish, and they did. The little white girl in the elevator. Mm-hmm. They was like, I'm getting on there. Yeah. Something happened. All right, what's your take, her?
No, I was going to bring up the Blackish situation.
Oh yeah. Did you look up Dumbo? That's Mr. Producer. That's what we doing.
So basically, it's supposed to be like a racist. It pays homage to a racist minstrel show. You know how that white people used to do blackface.
Yeah.
So I guess they're saying that's what those characters are.
The crows.
Wait, the crows?
Yeah.
The crows.
No, they're black crows. They are black.
They're not seagulls.
No, it's not like a bunch of doves. Just
Okay, so
but that's what they're supposed to. I mean.
I get it.
That's why
I kind of get it, but I don't.
How do you feel about that?
See, I understand the message. I don't understand I don't like how it's being portrayed. Right? I get what they're saying because they're trying to say because it was playing on stereotype. It was supposed to be stereotypical black people. They were
Right.
supposed to be loud and ignorant. Whatever the case may be, that was the world at that
The
point.
jokes were hilarious, though.
The content was on point. You're right. You're right.
They're making fun of his ears.
I get it, and that's something. If Dumbo was alive right now, I would do that shit.
Yeah.
And then also the leader of the Crows, the lead crow name is Jim Crow. Which is kind of funny.
That's hilarious.
Now let me ask you this, and I don't know if we're going to go too deep in this.
No,
and
go ahead.
I'm not sure if I'm allowed to go this deep. But here's the thing: who's canceling this? Because I'm betting that black people are not canceling
No,
this.
we have other shit to worry about.
It's Karen. It's Karen who happens to be like
with the white guilt. That's what it
Yeah.
is. It's the white guilt. Don't want their kids to see it. But I'm like, if you have like a real conversation with your child,
Yeah.
you don't have to, worry about this stuff.
Yeah.
Like, what,
well, and I do. My daughter. So I have a 5-year-old, and we watch Peter Pan.
wait, why'd you wait so late? How old are you?
42. I also have a 9-month-old. I was enjoying my 20s and 30s.
I'm talking shit. I ain't got no kids, and I'm 30, so
There you go.
I am well on my way.
But yeah, like we watch Peter Pan, and of course, Disney Plus does it. Does a little disclaimer at the beginning, like there's stereotypes, with the Indians. They're smoking peyote in Peter Pan.
Yeah.
Like they're smoking from the peace pipe.
Right.
And they're all getting high. Seriously, watch it.
No, I remember.
Yeah. And I'm like, she doesn't care. Like, it's not like I'm sure she's not gonna walk into a bunch of peyote like parties.
My thing is, once they get old enough to even understand how that
Right.
can be wrong, they can ask questions to for it to be explained. You know what I'm saying?
I have a peyote habit because of Peter Pan.
right
When I was 5. Like, that's my problem.
That's all you wanted to do.
I'm racist because I'm reverse. Never mind. So what else have they canceled? Like, I don't.
What else is being canceled? It was.
They tried to cancel Eminem on TikTok.
Oh, that's
No,
hilarious.
hold on. Before we get to Eminem,
Okay.
Mr. Potato Head.
You mean
Potato Head?
You mean potato? Potato above the necko, or like what happened? What happens to the people that don't have heads? Like, are we discriminating against people who have?
Against the headless horseman,
Right.
But no, it's like what? There was
Why?
a clear Mr. and Mrs.
Yeah.
Where is the problem?
And it doesn't. And it's not like the holes didn't fit the. Like you could take the baddie eyelashes from
Right,
Mrs.
and
Potato
put it
Head
on Mr.
and put it on Mr. Potato Head. Guess what? You took all the stuff off. They both just look like potatoes.
What that is preemptive action. Oh, so we gonna get to it before they can complain about it.
Yeah, I have a problem.
So hold on, I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
So are they killing Mrs. Potato Head? I mean, because one of them got to go. If
Yeah.
it can only be one,
It's just gonna be Potato Head.
right? So no more Mrs. So there's no more, I guess, real female representation.
Right.
There's no more. They were married. God damn it! There's no more.
What are they gonna do with Toy Story? Don Rickles, come on, that's his.
I think they just gonna go back and let them die in the inferno from the last one. But it's like so you care so much about House and Home, but Toy Story, Mr. and Mrs. Potato Head was husband and wife. They adopted 3 kids. Like, what more would you want from a couple?
This is my question though. There are people dying in our city every day, and you're calling Hasbro to be like, dude, Potato Head not a fan. Like, we got to cancel that. You know what? Get out of your house in Naperville, drive to Inglewood or wherever, and walk up and down the streets there. Like, why are we canceling like inanimate objects and fictional characters and
It's so ridiculous, and like for the life of me, because I love to play devil's advocate.
Oh, me too.
I don't care. I could totally agree with you.
I play white devil's advocate, but yeah.
I play black devil's advocate. Yeah. And so like I could totally agree with you.
Right.
But I love to try to help people see the other side of things. And by doing that, it helped me see the other side of things. So I have no problem. I could totally agree. But I'm like, but the other side would say, you know what I'm saying? So like, I have a hard time trying to figure out how this makes any type of sense.
It's people just thinking that they're activists or thinking that they're doing something. And it's like, take that energy and move it into something more positive.
They've been saying Johnny Bravo next.
I mean, are we gonna cancel Dexter's Laboratory because you know he's not old enough to get a PhD?
We're gonna have to. We're gonna have to cancel Powerpuff Girls, Animal Cruelty. They went Mojo Jojo ass.
That's why they put out the new one. It's softer.
Oh my God!
They put out a new one. It's softer.
I can't take it. Dude, I can't take it.
There are comedians that I respect and are my favorites, are part of the Mount Rushmore of comedy, that are spinning in their graves right now. Like, it's just,
who's on your Mount Rushmore?
Carlin.
You have to.
I mean,
you have to.
Yeah. And so Carlin, Pryor. I mean, that's everybody's. It's just, you know,
I feel like it's kind of it's a good question, but there's only one or two people will ever swap. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Well, Carrot Top's on mine.
Really?
No. No, I got to tell you, like, at least with my own style, I am kind of right in between Jim Gaffigan and Lewis Black.
Okay.
So I'm like, I have a lot of my materials very like family and kids and that kind of stuff.
Right.
For Gaffigan, but I'm angry.
Right.
So I'm kind of right in between. But no, I love Bill Hicks and Bill Burr, and I even like some of the more like not so well known. Like I remember, because I grew up, I was in high school in the 90s. Like at home from school, I'd watch Comedy Central because it was fairly new at the time.
Right.
And I was watching guys like Kevin Meaney and Elliot Gould, not Elliot Gould. What's his first name? Like Robert Gould and
producer.
Yeah, I don't remember.
You supposed to be looking at up?
You know, like. But I grew up in the heyday of comedy, so it was like.
Would you say that was like around the first time? Like, I mean, that was like one of the first sketch comedies that was like nationally televised. Though, no?
What?
Like Mad TV and stuff like that.
Yeah. No, I mean, it was Saturday Night Live was always the first.
Yeah.
But here's the thing: I haven't liked Saturday Night Live since
it's been a while,
like '88, and I was 9.
Yeah, no, Mad TV was.
Mad TV was good.
Most definitely my favorite.
But I remember watching. I don't know if you remember watching The State. No. That's a comedy troupe. You know the guys that do Reno 911? Yeah. They started as a comedy troupe called The State.
Oh shit.
I think that's what it was. And then there was Exit 57 was another group. Nah. Yeah, this is all stuff like Comedy Central. I mean, I used to watch New Kids in the Hall, not New Kids in the Hall, Kids in the Hall, not New Kids in the Hall, Kids in the Hall, and Benny Hill. So it was like, you know, I've seen a whole bunch of different things.
Have you changed gears real quick? There was a sports announcer who got in trouble for calling.
Are we talking Giangreco?
That's his name. Who
Are we talking about the local guy?
I don't know if he's local.
Oh no. I'm thinking
Mark Harwell.
No, I'm thinking somebody else.
Yeah, no. So
many people are getting canceled these days.
Yeah, no. I mean, his excuse is hilarious to me. So, prep announcer Mark Harwell basically got in trouble because he was at a high school girls basketball game. Okay. The girls took a knee during the anthem, and I guess he thought his mic was off. Okay. He dropped all kinds of N-bombs. And
for real.
Look at them. Why are they doing this to the flag? This N-word, this N-word. And then they come to him and like, yo, your mic was on. And he blamed it on his diabetes.
Now, I have diabetes, and that doesn't make me say anything.
What you going to say, Curtis?
So he says, I do not believe that I would have made such a horrible statement absent my sugar spike.
Yeah, no. So yeah, no. He's
wait. Did he say that Did he say that his sugars were up or down?
He said it was up.
Yeah, nothing happens there. Like my sugar's super high right now.
My thing is though, like if you were having a moment episode, wouldn't the rest of your speech be also
first of all
impaired?
No. There's no episode unless you have Tourette syndrome. Seriously, there's very few syndromes that you could have where it makes you say things that you shouldn't say.
Right.
Diabetes is not one of them. The only thing
you like pass out though, right?
No,
kind of black out.
If you have low sugar, but not high. What is high? I guess high sugar. You if it gets high enough, you go into a coma.
Right, you just kind of.
Yeah, you're not going to say like. I mean, maybe as you're falling to the ground, in your coma, you might drop the N-word, but no, like,
could you imagine that?
Yeah. I did not say that. I'm not a ventriloquist.
You go to pass out and you just are saying racial slurs. Like, what? Like, it's fine. He's passing out.
No.
Like,
So he blamed his diabetes.
Yeah. So hold on, wait. Let me finish the statement real quick.
Yeah.
So he blamed his sugar being high and was like, oh, but like the whole entire time he's contradicting his statement. Right?
Of course.
He's like, oh, my sugar is high. I would never said this under any circumstances. But it should never
except
be said.
for this one.
It should never be said. And I would have never done this. But my sugar was high. But it's not okay.
But haven't we learned? Like, you are a professional. Like, me saying it.
Nah, you're in a high school game.
Well, but still.
You was mic'd up.
You were mic'd up.
Yeah,
like, how many people.
You're trying to be a professional. Yeah.
How many people have gotten screwed because of that?
God.
And it's like, I don't know. Like,
Okay.
I'm gonna unplug every single thing when we're done here before I say a word.
His name is Matt Rowan.
Oh, Matt
Okay.
Rowan.
He a former youth pastor.
Oh, that's even
God.
better. White Hitler youth pastor.
Yeah, no, he did it. He was look. I understand people get upset when people kneel. I get it. Keep your opinion to yourself, though.
Well, you can have that opinion, but
Right.
without saying the N-word.
Right, most definitely.
I mean-
right. But my thing is, even if that is your opinion, though, even without saying a racial slur, I still think at that point you are a sports announcer. Wait till the sports happen.
Yeah.
No sports has happened yet. It's
Yeah.
just the national anthem. If you're not okay with it, then just don't be okay with it. When you're done, you go tell your friends underneath y'all burning cross and y'all Trump flags about what's going on. You know what I'm saying? So like, I don't. It was just funny to be like, oh, my diabetes.
My diabetes. I'm using that tonight, by the way. I'm gonna say it. I'm gonna do it, and I'm gonna be like, oh, sorry, my diabetes is acting
my
up.
diabetes. Like,
Yeah,
man,
I had a cookie earlier. Now I'm racist. Actually, that's a great bit. I'm stealing that bit.
He say, I hope Norman gets their ass kicked. Rowan said, effing, fucking N-word.
Yeah.
So
He was upset.
Because they're kneeling.
that was not
But no, okay. But like I was saying though, even if it was right, even if something like that happens, you was able to have a very cohesive conversation about it.
Yeah.
You explained yourself very well about why you was upset, and don't only the racial slur was the part of the diabetes. But then like you had a whole game.
Yeah.
You commentated the whole game.
Right.
You didn't do anything different to realize your sugar was too high. You were fine. No, just eat the L. You no longer have a job. Like,
Yeah.
just go back to doing whatever. You
I
was
just
doing.
don't get it. Like I get having an opinion.
Right.
And that's the other thing I'm having a problem with all the cancel culture is that we're not, people are not allowed to have opinions anymore.
Right.
Like, you and I are friends. You and I come from completely different backgrounds. You and I have completely different ways of thinking and different experiences
just
happen
ways
to
of
us.
understanding.
But guess what? You and I can sit down and have a conversation, and we listen to each other.
Right. Like at the end of the day, that's what it should be, right?
Yeah.
I hear you out, you hear me out, and if we can agree to disagree, then that's just what it is.
I'm not going to not be your friend over it.
It's ridiculous, right? I don't know. It's crazy. Curtis, if you can look up, there was a company that had sent out a memo about telling white people to tone down their whiteness. You know what company that was?
No.
Okay.
I heard about it though.
So I just remember this because
now,
to me,
are you doing the same conversation with your next guest who happens to be like Hispanic or something?
I mean, we have a Hispanic friend, and we just learned like Hispanic is not the word to say.
It's not. It's Latino or Latina.
Latinx.
Yeah, or Latinx.
But then you have to like really know their country origin and call them Mexican.
Well, right.
Because you call a Puerto Rican.
You want to piss
Mexican.
off a Puerto Rican, call him Mexican, or vice versa.
But like I didn't know. I thought Hispanic was like the PC word, and like I thought it was cool.
It's almost
They kind of
like
roped them all together.
it's almost like and I don't want to. Sorry, I'm the white guy. I'm white splaining. I'm sorry. It's almost like the difference between African American and black.
right.
Like Hispanic, I think is the black
So the way
connotation. versus African American.
The way Ivan explained it to us, right, is that the racial slur, spick, comes from Hispanic. Yeah. But I thought it was the other way around. I thought first was Hispanic and then somebody shortened it to that. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I didn't think the slur was there and it was like, oh, Hispanic. Got it. I'm like, wait, that's how that happened? Like, okay, my bad. I mean, it's a hard thing to break.
I think it has something to do with whether or not you're from South America and there was any Spain
that would make sense.
Settlers.
Right.
You know, I think that had something to do with it. I don't know.
I mean, that would make sense with the word. You know what I'm saying? Okay.
Yeah.
So you're talking about Coca-Cola.
Is that Coca-Cola?
So an online training seminar tried to be less white.
So are they changing the polar bears?
Well, polar bears are black underneath the fur.
Well,
but they look white, so.
Yeah. They got to tone down. They're going to be the beige polar bears.
So, do you know what that means?
Be less white?
To be less white.
I don't know. Because
I mean, if someone told me to be less black, I know what that means.
Okay, what does that mean?
That means pronounce my E's and R's.
Okay.
Use correct word. Right. Speak properly.
So would you say that, and I don't
No,
mean
speak
any
freely.
offense.
You're fine.
Would you say that being less black is being more white?
Right.
Okay.
I would have to be more white, more to fit into the stereotype.
Because here's the problem. I don't feel like being less white is being more black.
Right. But the reason I brought it up. Right. Okay. But the reason I brought it up was that guy should have been less white doing that statement. He wouldn't have to worry about his diabetes.
Well, but here's the problem. Why is it now that being white is being racist?
No,
because I know at least 3 white people that are not racist. I'm kidding. I know a lot more.
I'm glad it was at least 3.
Yeah, no, there's 3. I don't know. I was going to say something.
Because I'm pretty sure you know more white people who are not racist than I know black people who's not racist.
I mean, I don't know. I don't know. Maybe it's probably pretty close. But no, being so here's the thing though.
What's less white?
I guess the question is that nowadays, what's the definition of being white and what's the definition of being black?
Right.
Because
of your culture.
Just because you're black doesn't make you hood.
Right.
Doesn't make you ghetto.
Right.
Doesn't make you ignorant or ignorant. It doesn't make you those things. It just you being black just is your shell.
So this is how I see it just overall, right? We have to still realize that America's mostly white. So
is it?
It is. It still is.
Yeah.
Contrary to a lot of people's beliefs.
I don't know. They're pulling down all our statues. I don't know.
Slowly but surely. You still have so many more. But no, country's mostly white. Sure. Okay. So it's hard for you not to be what the majority is. You know what I'm saying? So it makes it real difficult. So we have to. I mean, we've created our own dialect. We have the Urban Dictionary. Mm-hmm. We say words different, obviously. You know what I'm saying? It's just a difference in culture.
Right.
So for us to be less black, we have to, that means be more quote unquote normal
to the
majority. So it's weird to hear somebody go, stop being the majority and act more of the minorities. You're all right, fuck it. Tortillas for lunch every day.
Well, but that's the thing. You say to me, what do I think it is to be less white? I'm like, well, you know what? I feel like being less white is being less offended and being less
okay.
I don't know, because being white has changed.
How so?
It's just because agreed back in the day, mm-hmm. being white was being white.
Yeah, right.
There weren't very many Hispanics in the KKK. But no, I mean, I'm just saying, it's back in the day, being, during segregation and everything, being white was being white.
Right.
And you could, I don't know because I wasn't there, but from what I've read, what I've seen, you could go up, I could go up to a guy like you,
right,
and just drop the N-word and have no repercussions.
And I can't respond.
No.
You come up, physically harm somebody.
But that's not today.
You're right. It's not.
I mean, don't get me wrong. People still do it, but they're going to get repercussions.
Consequences.
Right.
There's not consequences.
And it's like, I just feel like nowadays it's the whole idea of being white is, okay, stop white-splaining. Mm-hmm. Stop being offended for something that has nothing to do with you. Stop being I've never been offended for someone who wasn't in the room with me.
Right.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like I've never been in a room with a group of people and somebody say something that was not PC, and you're not in the room.
Right.
But I'm saying, oh, you shouldn't say that. It's like
quote unquote, just mind your motherfucking business.
Yeah.
Like
just live your life. Stop apologizing. Stop trying to cancel everything just because you're guilty or you feel guilty. I mean, I'm not guilty of anything because I'm Canadian. So,
not according to South Park.
Well, that's true. That is true.
So, the dictionary added finna.
Okay.
And I'm happy.
I think they
now
should.
I can put that in a corporate email. I'm finna finish my project.
Now, the problem with that is that, much like other words in the dictionary, I can't even pronounce it.
That's where I come in.
I can't finna do nothing.
Like, so a lot of words like ain't is,
ain't, yeah,
in the dictionary now.
Yeah, I remember when they killed deaf. Remember when they took deaf out as a word?
No,
you might be too young to remember that.
Yeah,
the term deaf, like that's deaf.
Yeah.
That's no longer a word. Like you can't, like it's, they literally, like I saw something like there's like a gravestone for the word deaf. I think they should be taking a lot of words out.
Yeah.
Like if I don't have to, if I don't
add words, you gotta take some out. Stuff
you gotta take a bunch out. If I don't have to hear, like flatten the curve again, like I'm fine with that. Like if I don't have to hear pandemic again, I'm fine with that.
You know what I want to start doing? I want to download a Word of the Day app.
Oh yeah.
And every day, like video myself trying to use.
Oh yeah. But you should use it like totally wrong.
Yeah.
Like it sounds like it should mean this.
Right.
But it means something completely different.
Maybe that's what I'll do. I'll read the word without reading the definition.
Yeah.
Try to use it and then come back and read.
You know what you should do? You should take it on the man on the street and just like walk around people and just be like, use the word in a context that is completely different than what it needs to be.
Get people to agree.
And people be like, oh yeah. Absolutely. Like, do you know what you're agreeing to? These are terrible ideas. I'm going to write that down.
Oh, yeah, no, I'm doing that. I don't.
Yeah. Just give me some writer's cred.
Curtis, you had brought up something for us to talk about. What was it?
Yeah.
I told you to remind me.
Yeah.
Well, no, it was something before that. We talked about Eminem, how they trying to go back and cancel. It's just cancel culture. And I remember so many times on like CNN and all these other major news platforms where people are going cancel culture. Mm-hmm. You're not. Like, you're just not. Some stuff needs to be canceled, right?
But I feel like they're whitewashing everything.
Yeah.
You know, like we need Eminem. We need Aunt Jemima. We need Uncle Ben. Like they're all gone.
And then it's just faces. Like, I don't know. Like I didn't get the canceling Aunt Jemima. Like for what?
Yeah. Like, is it still called Aunt Jemima? Like, is the syrup still Aunt Jemima? Just no longer the picture?
I'm the same way I feel about Sears Tower.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm going to call it syrup Aunt Jemima.
Yeah.
Don't come in here with maple syrup.
Yeah.
Where's Aunt Jemima?
Yeah.
Like Uncle Ben. No, it was something I had asked you before we started the podcast. I was like, do you have anything we don't talk about?
Kirk Franklin shit?
Did we talk about Kirk Franklin?
We didn't.
We did not. Do you know who Kirk Franklin is?
I do now. Because you told me 30 minutes ago.
Kirk Franklin, for the people who don't know, is I don't know how to. He's a gospel singer, platinum recording, whatever. I don't know the man's accolades, but he's pretty famous in the black community.
Okay,
he pretty much turned gospel music hood. Like he put a nice little beat behind it, and I was singing it as a kid. It was better than the original church songs. Okay, but Kirk Franklin is he's a human. He has made mistakes in his life, but he has a son who like wants to like just put him out there as this terrible person. So Kirk Franklin, again, this guy does gospel, man of God, man of the church, is on his phone talking to his son. What do you call him?
So, I mean, he called him. He said a lot, but
He called him a bunch of punk ass bitches and shit.
Yeah,
Like,
don't disrespect me.
That just sounds like a Tuesday at my house.
yo,
growing up,
like a lot of people are. I mean, his son put it out with the intent to like ruin him.
Yeah,
But like,
why would you? I mean,
that's when it comes to anything dealing with any type of religion. I feel like everybody's always held holier than thou. You can't make no mistakes. You can't do this. You aren't supposed to do this.
right.
He's still a person at the end of the day.
Oh yeah.
And if you a shithead son, he should be able to call you a shithead son. Like,
Right.
you doing a dick move, he can say, son, that's a dick move in the
Right.
name of Jesus, and keep it moving. Like, I feel like as long as you're a church person, you can say whatever you want. Just say in the name of Jesus at the end. Like,
okay. All right, yeah, that's true. Like,
say you a dirty hoe in the name of Jesus.
well, that's like the old bit. I don't mean no disrespect. And
Yeah,
you can say
right.
whatever the hell you want. It's like, no disrespect, but your mother's a whore.
Right, no disrespect.
Yeah,
you
but
just
no
you
disrespect.
just know the next words
Yeah.
is the most disrespectful shit you ever heard in your life.
I just think. I mean,
So in the name of Jesus, just a suffix.
yeah.
No disrespect is the prefix if you want to do it.
Yeah.
But if you realize you said some fucked up shit, you just throw in the name of Jesus and it's all good.
Yeah. I just think it's these people who take themselves too seriously, and yeah, okay, you might be a pastor, but like I'm an ordained minister.
Right, you married someone, right?
I married 3 couples.
3 couples.
Yeah, two heterosexual weddings and 1 homosexual wedding. I don't know if that's gay wedding.
Yeah, we still allowed to say that.
I don't know, but yeah, I had to return in my Republican card after that one. They're like, you did what? You turned in your hood and your Republican card. Sorry.
Same time.
But no, it's like, do you know how hard it is to become an ordained minister?
I thought you just go online.
Have you done it? It's super
No.
hard.
Is it?
Oh yeah. You go online, you go to whatever website, I did universallifechurch.org, I believe.
Okay, that's
And I went on there
nice.
and it says, do you want to become a minister? And I click yes. And then it takes you, they want your information. So you put in your first name, your last name, your email address, and you click okay. And it says, congratulations, you're a minister.
Whew.
It took me longer to put my name in than it did for me to like.
Whew, that's taxing.
So then I had I did my first wedding a couple of years ago, and I called the county. I'm like, "Is this legit?"
Yeah.
They're like, "We don't care." I mean, this is Cook County. This is.
Did you print it out?
Cook?
Yes.
I didn't have to print out anything. I didn't
Like insurance, just show it on your
They
phone.
wanted to charge. They wanted to charge me $40 to get a little plaque and a little card that I could carry around, like a laminated card in my thing. And I didn't do it because it was $40, and I wasn't getting paid for this gig. I actually had to give a gift. And sure enough, I called Cook County Clerk and I said, "Hey, is this legit?" They're like, "We don't care as long as somebody signs the marriage certificate." I'm like, and then the bride, so this is my best friend from growing up, and we're big Star Wars nerds, and I'm like, because it on the certificate it says your name and your title as the minister. So I put my name. I'm like, "Can I have my title be Dark Lord of the Sith?" She's like, "Absolutely not." I should have done it anyways.
I would have. Speaking of Star Wars, how do you feel about the direction they're taking it?
I don't know what direction they're taking it in.
Like,
That's the problem. Mandalorian was super cool. And here's the thing. I want more Star Wars.
Right.
I don't care if it's good, if it's bad, if it's the same or different. I just want more Star Wars.
you know what? I just want a continuation of the story.
Well, it's got to be a new story now.
Right. I'm so tired of the stories that didn't need to be told, like Rogue One.
Oh no! See, I like that stuff.
You like it? You like the niche-y?
Dude, I like perfect example. Return of the Jedi came out. I saw it in the theater.
Mm-hmm.
You were
What year was that?
83.
I was not born.
Right. I was 4. I remember the earliest memory I have is seeing Jabba the Hutt on the big screen in a movie theater. That's my earliest memory. So then there's the space in between Return of the Jedi and Force Awakens.
Right.
Now, obviously, there's a cinematic space in time, but there's also, I mean, understand there was like a 30, 40-year difference
between
in our world,
real world time.
Right.
Right.
So the thing is that I have no idea how it got from, the Emperor going down a shaft and them burning up Vader to now, Adam Driver is crying because his daddy's gone and I don't know how they got from the end of Jedi to the beginning of Force Awakens.
Right.
Now, the Mandalorian is doing a little bit of that.
It's tying up some loose ends.
But that's what I like, because you have to understand that, I grew up with it. This Star Wars came out 2 years before I was born, the first Star Wars. And so it's been my whole life. I've played the video games. I've watched the TV shows. I saw the Christmas special. Have you ever seen the Christmas special?
I have not.
It's on Disney Plus. It is the worst. It is like the worst thing you could ever watch, but you have to watch it if you're a true Star Wars fan. But the thing is that like I played the video games and everything, and there's stories in the video games that play into the movies.
Yes, they are doing a great job of tying in all of the content. I give them that. Any content that was out.
And that's what I want to see.
Okay,
like,
I'll give you that.
I was hoping Rogue One was going to turn into, because you know that Luke ends up becoming the leader of the Rogue Squadron.
Right.
Well, I was hoping that Rogue One was going to then tie into that whole story.
Yeah.
And it's my favorite part, you can either be, I mean, growing up, it might be different for your guys' generation, but for me growing up, you were either a Jedi fan or an Empire fan.
Right.
That could tell you that would tell the other person what kind of person you are. Seriously. Like Empire, it's a much deeper plot, a much deeper story.
Would you say your Star Wars is like our Harry Potter?
No, because I don't think Harry Potter was quite as well received as Star Wars was. Star Wars was like revolutionary. I don't think Harry Potter's as revolutionary.
I beg to differ.
Okay.
I know a lot of people who got like Harry Potter tattoos. I got a close friend from my old job. He got so much Harry Potter stuff in his house, and like look and talk to him, you'll never get Dusk. Kyle, he got so much Harry Potter shit. Right, but you would never guess. I'm sorry, Kyle. I didn't mean to put you out there like that.
How do you spell his last name? No.
Yeah, just no, he's a huge Harry Potter fan, right? Yeah. And him and one of my other buddies, Bobby, we kicked it at Bobby's house a lot.
Yeah.
They argue a whole entire night.
Okay.
Of the difference between the cinematic universe and the books.
Oh yeah.
And it was epic. But after 4 hours, it was.
See, with Star Wars, we didn't until Star Wars was a huge hit. There were no books.
Right.
It was basically it was this movie that was supposed to be like 3 movies. No, it was actually originally supposed to be a trilogy, and then it wasn't, and then it was again, and then it was. So Star Wars originally was supposed to be just one movie, and that was it. And then they progressed it, and then it just became something crazy with all. Now I'm not a big reader because.
We don't have time to get into that though.
Yeah.
We're getting close to the end. Phil,
right.
Do you have any hot takes? Anything you want to talk about?
Hot takes? No. This was great though. This was a lot of fun.
Are you a flat earther?
No. I'm more of a buxom earther. I like Earth with big boobs.
Yeah. Makes sense. I'll do with a big boob earth.
Yeah. No, I am not a flat earther simply because it doesn't make sense to me. Like,
all right,
I can't do it.
Just to leave people on a cliffhanger, just like that. Phil, if you could tell the people where they can find you.
You can find me on Facebook under Phil Landrio Comedy. You could find me on Instagram, on Twitter. I don't put anything on there, but you could find me there. You could find me every Monday night at Riddle's Comedy Club in Alsip, Illinois.
That's where we be.
7 p.m. You can find me this weekend on Saturday. I'm going to be at the Bottle Shop.
What's the date? Drop the date.
The March 20th. 6 o'clock and 8 o'clock show at the Bottle Shop in Lake Geneva.
Lake Geneva?
That's in Wisconsin. A lot of diversity up there. I'm all over the place. I'm like I'm like herpes. I'm everywhere.
All right, make sure y'all follow me on all platforms. Simply just Will. The fuck was that? And follow me on all platforms. Simply Just Will. Make sure y'all following us, Third Post Media, on all platforms. Post like your heartbeat, not plus. Post. People put so many wrong things. Post. And on that note, we out. Phil, thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate you coming through.
Oh, thanks, man.